Right. Let's see if we're doing okay here. Yeah, I think. All right, I think we're live. I think we're live. However, the important question is, can anybody see or hear me? And the answer to that is, I don't know yet. I'm going to have to wait for someone to show up. Unfortunately, it is 11:05 UK time, which means that most people, they are not awake. Hello. All right. You can hear me and presumably also see me, and I can see you too. So that's pretty good. Right. Most important thing on this stream is that, well, first of all, you shouldn't see any adverts, so that is a bonus. You shouldn't see any adverts, which is a bonus. You also cannot do super chats. I imagine that they have been disabled for reasons that, well, I would explain the reasons, but I'm not entirely sure myself. But here we are. It's 3 a.m. California time. Exactly. 40% of my audience should be asleep. All right, so yes, I got up this morning to an email which said, we have disabled not your YouTube channel. All right, put it this way. When you have a YouTube channel, or I have a YouTube channel, and when you reach a certain amount of whatever, you can be monetized. And the way that you're monetized is that you sign up for a thing called an AdSense account, and then YouTube goes, great, shows ads on your videos, pays you via that AdSense account. So my YouTube channel itself is absolutely fine. It's not because of a video, it's not because of a copyright strike or anything like that. It's just that they decided that my AdSense account, which I don't touch, it pays me every month and we don't really do anything with it. It just sits there. And sometimes it sends me money, on the 21st of the month for the previous month or whatever it is. It has been disabled, and the AdSense account associated with my YouTube account has been closed. Google have closed it. And so I got onto live support and I said, hello. My channel has been demonetized. Can you help? And they said, well, it looks like your account has been disabled, yes, so you need to appeal that. I said, okay, so I filled out the appeal form and it asks you for your ID, so I put in my ID and what the problem was, and I said, look, I don't think I've actually violated any of your policies. How do I fix this? And then I got an automated email in response which said, you have an invalid user ID. I'm like, okay, there is another one it could be, I suppose. So I tried the other one, because sometimes you might miss a number or something. You have an invalid user ID. Also, that account still exists on... That account still exists. I'm like, no, it doesn't. I have a screen right here. It says it's been closed. So not only has my AdSense been disabled, so I can't get any money and my channel is not monetized at the moment, but I can't appeal the decision because I don't exist. Now, being a bigger channel, technically speaking, I have a partner manager. And so I thought, well, okay, I'll email my partner manager. Her email address doesn't exist. She's been sending me like a newsletter every week for the last, 3 months. And I, about a month ago, I went, I guess I can unsubscribe to that because I don't really need to know about the latest trends in YouTube Shorts. But that came from an email address, which was my partner manager's email address. But it doesn't exist. I sent it an email and it bounced. So I can't appeal. I can't talk to a human. Live support don't know what the problem is. And I'm basically waiting for North America to wake up so that I can talk to an American, because it's more likely that they'll know what's going on. Yes, have you tried existing? Exactly. They're like, well, either you don't exist. And also you haven't, your account hasn't been closed. I'm like, I do exist and it has. But there we go. Anyway, the joys of a platform too big to have actual human moderation. I guess your partner manager is AI. No, she is a real person, unless they've got very, very good, fake Zoom call technology these days. I have seen her on the other side of a video screen at least once. So I'm pretty sure she exists, but I'm not sure if she still works as a partner manager, because this is the thing. People in YouTube do move around a lot, and so it's entirely possible that she was in post for 6 months and then she got transferred elsewhere. Nemo has told you them you never feed him and they have reacted appropriately. Yeah, so basically the thing that it has been disabled for is either policy violation, which I think is very unlikely, or what they call invalid click activity, which means they're having trouble with bots who are pretending to be humans. I'm not sure why that makes it my problem, because I'm not a bot pretending to be a human. I'm definitely a human. But I have been noticing an increasing number of bots on YouTube recently, particularly on shorts comments. I look at things and go, I'm not sure you're human. Have you tried flaming them on Twitter? No. Possibly I should try that. That would require me to figure out where my Twitter login is, because I have not logged into Twitter for some time. But I do still have the Twitter account, and logically, somewhere, my password is, stored or saved or possibly written down if we're really old school. Who knows? Have you considered you're secretly a bot and don't know? I mean, it could be. It could be that I'm secretly a bot. Who knows? If it's the bot thing, they may think you're paying for bots to fake activity on your channel. It is, yeah, quite possibly. But unfortunately, it's not the being demonetized that's the real problem. Although that's very inconvenient in December especially. It's the fact that I can't appeal it because I don't exist. Is this YouTube's way of stabbing people? Yeah. Are you sure you exist on Twitter? I had an account, and then in 2020 I hit 100,000 subscribers, and I decided that for achieving this momentous milestone, in addition to getting my silver play button, I was going to give myself 2 presents. And the first present was that I was going to buy myself a sword. So I did. I bought myself a swept hilt rapier that is sort of safe for stage combat. And the other one was that I was going to quit Twitter. I highly recommend both of these, but if you have to pick only one, quitting Twitter is free, whereas buying swords is not. But both of them, I think, have brought me equal amounts of joy, or at least in the case of quitting Twitter, have made me avoid a large amount of annoyance in my life, because I was going on Twitter and I wasn't even, when I wasn't even following anything that was annoying, but I could just feel my blood pressure rising every time I went on. How many swords does a girl need? I like more than I currently have, I feel. Did you not give them enough cheese? Was the Zoom the same as the email that bounced? No, it was a you have to log in and there are lots of people there, unfortunately. So it wasn't associated with a particular email address, I don't think. In 2020, I quit all the socials. Best thing I ever did. That is very reasonable. I was going to say, you are on YouTube, but that's not really quite the same thing. The amount of ads on Twitter since it became X. I mean, I quit it in 2020, so I don't know. But I have decided that the correct thing to call it nowadays is Twix. Because, like you started to say Twitter and then you have to say X, and so it's Twix. Which is a kind of... Well, I don't know how you feel about Twixes, but I find them a mediocre kind of chocolate. I'm not a huge fan. They're, I wouldn't choose to eat a Twix, which is exactly how I feel about Twitter/X. A redhead who fights with swords and is also a best-selling author sounds fake. The app formerly known as Twitter. Don't sully chocolate with the platform. I mean, that's reasonable. What good are those swords if you can't use them to fight to confirm your own existence? Indeed. What good? What good? But never mind. The easiest way to get to YouTube staff is to tag Team YouTube on Twitter. Okay. left Twix or right Twix. Neither Twix. But the thing is, there was this whole advertising campaign which was, do you prefer the left Twix or the right Twix? And I was like, you can have both Twixes, but surely that just makes you more popular with people who like Twixes. You might try flaming them on Blue Sky instead. No, see, I don't. I have YouTube and I have TikTok. In, I think, 2010, I briefly had an Instagram account. It wasn't anything to do with, I didn't, do YouTube things on it or anything. Except I can't remember what it was. I think it was my name. And there is a Jill Bearup account on Instagram, but I don't think it's me. And so, yeah, I have YouTube and I put things on TikTok, and then I delete the app again. But I don't really do the rest of social media because it feels like mind reading, but in the worst possible way. Like all of the unfiltered thoughts that come out of your head. Like I check Facebook like once a month or something, but like all of the thoughts that are in your head are then on Twitter. I'm like, you don't need that, and I don't need other people's unfiltered thoughts straight out of their heads either. I just feel, I feel better not being on the Twitter. Have a like and a good stream. Thank you. YouTube always selects the I don't know you lady option on your surveys. Could you reach out to the biggest YouTubers you know to get them to ask on your behalf? I have asked I am a member of a YouTube related group on Facebook, ironically enough. So I have, I have posted in there and said, hey, does anybody know what's going on or how you can talk to a human? But several of them were like, I used to be able to contact a human at YouTube, but it's very hard to do. It's very hard to do. You can't spell demonetization without demon. I like that. I was saying this morning, it's a good thing I didn't have anything like really urgent to do. Today was supposed to be like, make sure accounts are up to date and like, other non-urgent but important things that you have to do, like make sure your tax stuff is in order. But no, I'm arguing about YouTube. I'm arguing with YouTube over my own existence. But hey ho. A Star Wars letter has YouTube issues all the time. Shame them publicly. It's true. Just, yeah. I may have to, get off the stream at some point and just go find my Twitter credentials and tweet them. Cannot think of better use of, Twix. If you need a bit of a cash boost, I'm waiting to buy a Just Stabby Now cheese board and knife set. I like that. Yeah, so thankfully, well, non-thankfully, if you are a YouTube channel member, you will have received an email that says your YouTube membership has been paused. So yes, obviously, because I cannot receive money, so you can't give it to me, which is good, I suppose, that they don't just take your money and then give you nothing. But if you are a channel member, your membership has been paused and we might have to redo it whenever this gets sorted out, which, who knows? I will let you know when that happens. I mean, you'll probably know when that happens because you'll start seeing ads on my videos again, but we'll see. Did the ceiling fan only have 2 blades or did it lose against you in a battle? No, it has 4. One of them is hidden by the light and one of them you can't see. Or possibly 2 of them you can't see. I don't know. Could the algorithm have interpreted Just Stabby Now as suicidal thoughts or violence? No. Like I said, it's my AdSense that's been demonetized, not the channel. The channel is still in good standing, but the account that like if there was a problem with a video, then I would get a notice on that video and it would say, hey, this is dodgy and we don't like it. Take it down, or whatever. But it is a problem with AdSense. If it were a problem with YouTube, then there are usually more things you can do about it. But like I said, I tried appealing and everyone I tried appealing and they told me I didn't exist. They told me both that I didn't exist and that the account was still active, neither of which are true. I'm reasonably sure I exist, but there you go. The YouTube ban and demonetization hammer seems to be blind shotgunning people recently. Accurate. Is the Metatron people who are recommending to talk to a YouTuber or just literally speak to the angel? The Metatron is, well, it is the name of an angel, but he is also a YouTuber. So, you know, both of these are concurrently true. How can your account still be active if you don't exist? Yes. Possibly it's just going, well, either your account doesn't exist, or either you don't exist, or your account is still active. They are extremely vague when they when the thing is, YouTube gets a lot of stick, shall we say, for having really weird like copyright and monetization policies and things, but they do explain them. Sometimes their reasons are stupid, but they generally do explain. It's like, this has been copyright claimed by whatever, and there's a process. It may be a stupid process, but the process at least sort of works. Whereas this is just like, we've deleted that because reasons. You want to appeal? Fill in this form. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't actually exist. Fill it in again, but better. Like, so yeah, I'm waiting to figure out if anybody who I know who lives on another continent might have better ideas as to what I can do. But in the meantime, here we are. I don't think that the channel is in danger of being taken down or anything like that, but if it is, I will just make... you can always find me on Odyssey. I'm pretty sure that we're still... you can't cross-post to there anymore. Odyssey. Hang on. I'm going to give you the link in the chat. Because, yeah, just in case the channel does get taken down. I don't see why it would be, but you never know. Can we pin this to the top? Yeah, we can. Just in case anything does happen, that's there. There's also Patreon, which has all my videos in their own proprietary player. So there's also that. But yes, here we are. The gods of YouTube see CGP Grey. He was closed down for impersonating himself. Yeah, that sounds about right. East Coast USA is just waking up. That's true. I'm hoping that we'll be able to talk to a real human soonish. That would be nice. Anyway, where are you guys and what time of the day is it? Jill is CGI. Yes, but I have somehow managed to get past that whole uncanny valley thing, so I'm clearly very clever. 6:23, 5:23 UK. So you guys are the same as me. 11:23 East Coast. Tasmania. Okay, nice. Austria, Croatia. Lots of people. I was going to say lots of European countries, and then I thought to myself, yes, Jill, because everyone else should be in bed. Huddled in my kitchen waiting for the coffee to brew. Australia. I mean, it's getting late for you guys, but other people are not me, and so don't go to bed quite so late. Anyway, I just live like Batman. You are the night. East Asia finishing dinner. Okay. Some of us stayed up all night reading Wind and Truth. Good. I have just started the first of the Bartimaeus trilogy by Jonathan Stroud, which is... So Jonathan Stroud wrote Lockwood and Co. And I watched the series and I really liked it. And so I read all of the books and I really liked those. And people told me that I should read the Bartimaeus trilogy, but I hadn't sort of got round to it. And then my in-laws are moving house. And so they are returning unto my husband all of his books. And I mean all of his books. So every time we go to visit or they come and visit us, they bring 2 sort of small crates of books. And one of the books, which it turns out he hasn't actually read, somebody bought it for him ages ago and he never got around to it, is the Amulet of Sarkar-and, or the Amulet of Somebody. It's the first book of the Bartimaeus trilogy. I have so far read like 6 pages of it, but it's fun so far, so I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. However, it was published in 2003-ish, I think, and so at the beginning of it, there are lots and lots of kind of celebrity endorsements, and you can tell how old it is, because one of the celebrity endorsements is from Harvey Weinstein. Another one I saw, which was a book, but I don't know if it was... I don't think it was Terry Goodkind, but it was definitely something in the sci-fi fantasy genre. And there was a quote on the cover saying that you had to buy this book, and the quote was by Marion Zimmer Bradley. So for those of you unfamiliar, Marion Zimmer Bradley not only died some significant time ago, but also was involved in very unsavory activities involving people who should not be involved in unsavory activities due to their age, and the issues of consent which spring therefrom. So, like, you go, wow, that's a really old book, huh? Bartimaeus is why I love footnotes. I do love the footnotes. Perfectly reasonable hour here in Thailand. No, I feel old. Thanks, Jill. You're welcome. You should demand trial by combat. Yeah. Amulet of Samarkand. There we go. What do you do? So, yes, it has been... it's been an interesting morning so far. It's a bit like... Well, the thing is, if something goes wrong with your ISP or something like that, you have to make your way through all of the... What do you call them? You have to make your way through all of the layers of bureaucracy and the robots. You have to press 1 and press 2 and put in your customer number. But you know that if you keep going long enough and they don't hang up on you, eventually you'll get a human. Whereas with YouTube, there's no guarantee that you're ever going to get a human. Hey ho. I always read Demonetised as Demonized. Yeah. I want to strongly recommend you to try and play a bit of Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, maybe, but like... Basically, I play about 1 game a year, if that, and it's, you know, like I'm very, very slow. Because I will play something, you know, for a few days, and then I will leave it for 3 months because I forget about it, and then I come back to it. Which is why I don't like, you know, I would not buy anything that required a subscription, because I don't like the idea that you have to log in every day in order to keep up with whatever's going on. That just seems terrible to me. I was, the other day I had the idle thought, I wonder how hard it is to download the original Sims. And so I looked it up, and the answer is, like, there are lots of steps, but it's theoretically possible. But then I went on the thing, and it said, oh, you can download The Sims 4 for free. And I thought, I'll give that a go. So I downloaded The Sims 4, and then I had to open it up via the launcher, and that was annoying. I don't like that. Why would you, you know... So over the course of about 3 days, I played about 10 hours of The Sims 4. I don't like this. I'm not having fun, and I don't like this, and so I just thought, yeah, I'm not going to play that anymore. I'm going to uninstall it. Oh dear. We seem to be having... Any Sims game is a trap for your free time. I mean, it was, and I was there going to, you know, doing all of the things, and then I just thought, this isn't actually fun. It isn't actually fun. Anyway, for those of you just tuning in, welcome to the I've been demonetized stream. The reason I've been demonetized is because YouTube has disabled not my YouTube account itself, which is in theory totally fine, but the AdSense account which is associated with it. And the reason it's deleted that is apparently invalid click activity. So it thinks that there are bots on there, I think. Unfortunately, when I tried to appeal this, because I'm not a robot and I don't use robots, it told me that either I didn't exist or that the account was still up. So, or possibly both. It's like, so not only do I not exist, but the account still exists, whereas I do exist and the account does not. So, I'm waiting for I'm waiting for America to wake up in the hopes that I can talk to an actual human who might be able to solve my problem, or at least tell me what the problem is in the first place. Because if we could narrow that down, that would go a long way to fixing it. Sims 4 was designed so you'll buy a lot of DLC. I mean, I did note that, but you know. Yes, I'm sorry that it froze. There might be a problem on my end with the internet, but I don't think so. It did go, nah. Could it be the swords? No. Like I said, if there's a problem with an individual video, that's a different thing that happens within YouTube itself. This is a problem with AdSense as a separate entity, which is partially why I'm having such a hard time getting a hold of anyone to ask about it. Also because my partner manager has... Either I've got her email address wrong, or she doesn't exist anymore. There is, in fact, a bit of a theme of things not existing today. My publisher account doesn't exist. Do I really exist? Does my YouTube partner manager exist, or was she a fever dream of mine? It's one of those things. But luckily, I have Patreon, and people can buy merch, and all of those things still exist. If you have a channel membership, I'm sorry, you no longer have a channel membership. Hopefully we can get that back up and running soon, and you won't see any ads on my videos. So, feel free to go and watch. Feel free to go and watch as many as you like, because you're not going to see any ads. Which, considering the advert-filled nightmare that YouTube now is, like, maybe that's not such a bad thing, at least from a user perspective. For 2 spans of time over the past few weeks, every comment I posted under a video immediately disappeared, and I was not under a 24-hour comment ban. I've had that happen before. Yes, so YouTube has 2 different things, which work in, or can be working in tandem, on any particular channel. And one of them is called the blocked words list, which is if you say a particular word, then YouTube pulls that comment into a different... it pulls it basically out of the public space into a sort of bucket, which can then be gone through manually. And if nobody goes through the bucket after 2 months, then the comment gets deleted. Nothing happens to you, but nobody ever sees that comment. The other thing is that they are now... obviously, they read all of the comments, or rather, a bot reads all the comments, but they will also pull out comments which may not contain any of the blocked words on any particular channel, but they think sounds bad or harassing or rude or something like that. So it may be that you just kept falling afoul of it, or possibly that the channel you were commenting on, you're not allowed to say the word rocket or something. Like, I've had that happen before. There is a comment. Let me see if I can find it, because I took a screenshot of it because I was so confused by it. The comment was pulled into my review queue for, quote, blocked words. The comment reads, "I would bring Trader Joe's Cotswold Double Gloucester with chives." And having read this comment several times and thought, this does not contain any words which I have blocked. What? That doesn't make any sense. I noticed that the person's username contained... was like a pun on Yo Mama. And so possibly YouTube read that part and was like, that seems suspicious. And so pulled it in. But I was like, I would bring... I would bring Trader Joe's Cotswold Double Gloucester with chives. Reason it's in here, blocked words. Okay. um. I don't, it isn't necessary. Well, okay, it is Rock Kite Man. Maybe they've banned the word kite. Maybe they've banned the word kite. Like, isn't kiting a crime of some sort? She said. Thinking vaguely. Hang on, define kiting. The activity of flying a kite on a string? No. The fraudulent writing or use of a check, bill, or receipt. There we go. So, maybe they just don't want to encourage illegal activity, and so they've banned the word kite. Chives are very dangerous. Cotswold Double Gloucester with chives, that's too rich for YouTube. Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal. Did you click on enough pictures with traffic lights this month? I am really bad at those because it says... Not the ones where it says, click, here are 9 pictures, click on all the pictures with buses in them. Those are usually fine, even though they're very small, and so it's hard to tell what's a bus and what's a spaceship. But I'm really bad at the ones where it said, click on all the squares which contain a motorcycle. I'm like, that's half a wing mirror. Does that count? I feel like that counts. That's part of the motorcycle, and then it gets snippy with me. Kiting checks is a term. There we go. I haven't heard a yo mama claim meant to actually be offensive since junior high. That's probably reasonable. It's a very old thing to say. I remember that movie where the kite murders people. Okay, I've never seen a movie where a kite murders people. I'm just gonna, David Mitchell has the exact same rant. Yeah. My favorite random comedian digression, obviously it's like part of the set, but is the Michael McIntyre one where he says British people can turn any word into meaning drunk by adding, by having it in the past tense and then adding absolutely in front of it. I was absolutely trolleyed last night. I was absolutely bin lorried, The same is also true of insulting someone by saying you absolute and then noun. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you absolute muppet. Or see, I'm looking out the window now and thinking you absolute sycamore tree. I'm not sure if that is a sycamore. It doesn't have any leaves at the minute, but I'm sure I could still make that sound relatively insulting. The bit where you wonder whether the wing mirror counts is the thing that makes us human. Gotta go to bed. Good night, daughter of Eve. Which, saying that makes me feel like I'm in the Chronicles of Narnia, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. There we go. No idea. I wish you the best of luck. YouTube can be the harshest of mistresses. You absolute mousepad. Yes. As everybody looks around the room and thinks to themselves, what? Let's see. I'm sitting next to a large number of random things. So, because, painting of models happens in this room. So we've got, you absolute primer. You absolute yogurt pot. You absolute tea cozy. I like that. You absolute YouTube algorithm. Yes. I like that. I think that's my favorite one. I think that's my favorite. You absolute thermometer doesn't have the same ring. I don't know. I feel like you could make most of them work. You absolute Tuesday morning. I was absolutely broadsworded last week. Yeah, Tim's a real cockatoo. I love the British you absolute noun thing. It's a great way to get around certain websites with their crackdown on insults. You absolute Backman 2001 era HO scale Hogwarts Express with additional custom headboard. Additional I don't even know what that is, but I feel like that might be that we might have, exceeded the limit there just because it has too many words. And also because I tried to picture what it is, and then custom headboard made me think, is it a bed that looks like the Hogwarts Express? And then I got distracted. You absolute AdSense. You absolute combat wedge. Wonderful. I like all of those. Oh dear. You absolute lead pen. Brilliant. Anyway, we have I have been, let's see if we have received anything from anyone. No, not so far. But hey ho. It might just be a case that I will have to go do the Twitter thing, which means that I will probably have to go hunting around my room for things that might contain my Twitter password. Like, normally, I don't tend to write them down, but, since I stopped using it in 2020 and it's now the end of 2024, might be somewhere. Might be somewhere. What have I walked into? It's a good question. You have walked into the British, not tradition, but ability to make anything sound like anything mean the word drunk if you say I was absolutely worded, and the ability to make any word sound like an insult if you say you absolute noun goes here. You could just reset your password. That's true. I don't know what the email account associated with it is, but, surprised to see you on Odyssey. Well, it is a bit of a faff, honestly, because it used to have, what do you call it? It used to have that thing where it automatically pulled videos from YouTube and it put them on Odyssey, and I thought that was great because, things happen and sometimes channels get deleted for fair reasons or foul. Or they get demonetized because of invalid click activity, such as today. So I thought that would be a good bucket to keep my videos in. But now, YouTube has stopped them being able to pull the videos across, which is a bit of a pain. So I have to go and manually upload them, which I have not been doing over the last couple of weeks, actually. So I should probably do that. Are you on Patreon? Yes. I will. What the heck is invalid click activity? Bots that they think my best guess, because I don't know, my best guess is that the channel has had a lot of bot views recently, and so they are, because I have, I said earlier, I'd noticed that there have been a lot of comments which are a bit off, and so I've been putting up a lot of YouTube shorts. I think they get more bot views than the long form videos do, and you get more, I've been getting more comments which are weird, and so I think YouTube is like, I think you've been paying for bots to watch your YouTube shorts. One would wonder why, because you can get 500,000 views on a YouTube short and it will earn you about $20. So, if I were being a bad person and knew how to buy bots, I wouldn't be getting them to watch my YouTube shorts so that 500,000 views would earn me $15. That just seems a bit silly. That would cost you more than that, surely, she said. Oh well, a way to scam for ad revenue. Of course, that's what Jill is being punished for being popular with the machines. Hey ho. Patreon, yes, I was going to do Patreon. The Patreon. Yes, actually, I will pin that one now, because the other one is Odyssey, which is where you can see my videos should something weird happen to the channel. Like I said, it's currently the problem is an AdSense problem, and not a channel problem, and everything on the channel is fine. But just in case it turns into a channel problem, because I don't trust YouTube not to make it a channel problem. You can watch my videos on Odyssey, or you can watch the videos on Patreon. Like you have to pay for most of the videos on Patreon if you have a membership or something, then you can see them. But Patreon has a proprietary player. That was my mum. She probably doesn't know how to fix my monetization problem, which is a bit of a shame, but you know. The real bots are the friends we made along the way. Dear YouTube, I'm not a bot and I can donate via YouTube to prove it. I don't know. Maybe bots can get fake credit cards these days. Neither do we. Right. Were you in Glasgow during Worldcon? I thought I saw you there. Yes, I was. Hang on, I'm just going to text my mother to make sure that, like, her house isn't on fire or something. Live streaming. Will call later. There we go. Anyway, yes, I was at Worldcon, which was very, very fun. I liked it a lot. I got a tour of Glasgow. I got a couple of tours of Glasgow. Went to see some museums and things, which was great. And I discovered that it's not that I don't like conventions. It's just that the panels are never as fun as I think they're going to be. And I prefer just wandering around and talking to people. Because I went to 2 different panels. And the first one was... It was fine. But it took the whole hour and there wasn't... You know, there was one person... and it took up the whole hour slot and there wasn't even time for questions at the end. It was just an hour of one person talking. And I was, you know, there was interesting information in it, but, you know, is it on fire often? I mean, no, but like sometimes the roof leaks, you know, not that I could do anything about that if that were the case, but, you know. And then, oh, my mum wants to know, is everything okay? Yes. Or I will explain to her about the robots later. Anyway, so you know, she has subscribed to me on YouTube. I'm not entirely sure how, but you know, I didn't, because she doesn't have a Google account. But clearly, my brother has set her up or something. Worldcon. So Worldcon is a quite an old, I think it's been running for a fair number of years now, sci-fi and fantasy convention. And last year, or this year, 2024, it was in Glasgow. I asked people, let me start that story a little bit earlier. When I was publishing Just Stab Me Now, I had some interest from some traditional publishers, including a UK-based sci-fi and fantasy publisher. And I talked to one of the people who worked there and sent that person the book, and they read the book and they said, I really like your book, but I can't market it because it's not, well, obviously it's not sci-fi, but it's not really fantasy either. So it doesn't really have a place on the traditional bookshop shelf, as it were. And I said, that is no problem. But they did also say, by the way, if you're, you know, going to be self-publishing and whatever, you should go to Worldcon because it's a sci-fi and fantasy convention and it is a fantasy-ish book and it's in Glasgow in 2024, and so that's kind of near you. And so I thought, I will go to that. But I asked my audience beforehand, do not lie to your mum about the robot uprising being okay. It will be okay. Mums can use YouTube. Yes. I understand that that's terrifying, but to be fair, I am also a mum and I use YouTube. So, like, there is that. Anyway, did Jill get demonetized because of bot subs? We don't know. It's possible, though. But it's something to do with invalid click activity. So it probably has... No, it said, and I quote, invalid click activity or other policy violations. And the thing is, I haven't committed any policy violations, so it seems more likely that it's that first thing, but I'm not really sure what that means. And I can't find a human to explain to me what it means. Anyway. So, what do you do? Yeah, so I went to Worldcon and I went to panels and I decided that panels are okay, but I prefer just wandering around and like talking to people I bought a cool dice. I suppose a die. Technically it's a D6, but it's not like a, a regularly shaped one. It looks more like a D4, but it has 6 sides instead of, as in it's shaped more like sort of rhomboidal. I'm not quite sure what I mean. Do you know what it's the same shape as? It's the same shape as that diamond thing that goes over the head of your sim to tell you what state they're in. It's basically that shape. There we go. See, I'm tying it back to the conversation we were having like 10 minutes ago. Oh dear. It's I'd not a bot. I just have a slightly dodgy bot-like name. The problem is that Nemo. Clearly, that the mental acuity is draining out of my shoes. The problem is that YouTube made everybody change their usernames so that everybody had a unique username, but that means that a lot of people have suddenly got names which are just first name, last name, numbers. And some of those people are just people who are not, particularly tech savvy, and some of them are robots, because robots aren't going to change their names necessarily. Hey ho. D10 shaped D6. Maybe. I'm trying to see if there are dice over there. I don't really roll physical dice very much anymore because I have D&D Beyond, so I just hit the button. Because there isn't a lot of space around here, and so if I roll on the desk, it is likely to go elsewhere. And also this room is a little bit slanted. I mean, none of the floors in this house are flat, but my feet are on the floor right now. If I took my feet off the floor, I'm on a chair with wheels, and I would just slowly slide back. A4DD sounds like a train number. I mean, yeah, but the fact that you've put in your own name does make it more likely that you're a real person. One YouTuber had about 200,000 subs and making a living off YouTube. YouTube reviews going to find out they only had about 20 real people watching him, so they ended up working at Tesco. I mean, Tesco does at least, streaming for 20 real people while getting the money as if you had 200,000 is absolutely wild. I mean, at least, well, if you're working in Tesco, you are contributing something to the world, because, people need food and stuff, and you are helping to get that to them. So, you need a dice tray. I probably do. The oldest dice tower dates back to Roman times. There you go. I did not know that. I did know that the oldest discovered archaeological... The oldest sort of archaeological find of a kettle was in about 4000 BC. And I know this because I looked it up for Just Stab Me Now. Just ad revenue time. But I still have Patreon. I still earned money last month, so I still get paid this month. And so... And also people are still buying, books and merch and things. So everything is okay, and it will probably be sorted out. I am cautiously optimistic that we'll be able to get it sorted out within the week. If I can find a real human, I'm confident we can get it sorted like in an hour. But that, we need to find the humans. That is the problem. Dice date back long before the Romans. True, but dice towers, more specific. Excuse me. Oh, I'm not currently sliding, even though I took my feet off the floor. That's good. So I must have, I must be on the lip of the floorboard. The room I'm in currently has 2 different kinds of floorboards, and the first kind of floorboards are kind of not particularly well installed, but they, there aren't any holes in them. They're just kind of old and a bit warped. But on the other side of the room, they put in an entirely different kind of floorboards, and they don't fit. So there are just big holes in them, and you can see down into like the joists. Every day we discover something new about this house that we've moved into, and it's usually it's understandable but odd, and sometimes it's just completely inexplicable, like the dungeon underneath the house. So the house has basement chambers, as it were, as in the foundations. There's like essentially a room under each of the rooms on the ground floor. One of them is accessible via an actual proper stone staircase, and that's fine. Some of them were not accessible except by trapdoor, and one of them wasn't accessible at all. And when we knocked a hole through so that we could get better airflow so that it didn't have damp problems, we discovered that someone had been down there. They'd cut a hole in the floorboards in the room above, and they'd clearly been going down there regularly and doing something which involved dangling things from the ceiling, having lots of soil, and also pots. Like, there were broken plastic pots down there, and light fixtures and random sockets. So I think I understand where the underlying damp problem came from. Anyway, it's an interesting house. Are we not mildly concerned there's a bot out there banning channels with activity from other bots? I mean, yeah. I mean, yes, but, concerned that you think speaking with a real human will get it fixed, but you can't but live in hope. The thing is, if you can get through to a real human, usually you can, if not solve your problem, at least work out what the problem is. But trying to deal with robots when you have a non-standard problem is the real problem. Like, if I could have used the appeals process like you're supposed to be able to, then we'd probably be sorted already. But because there is some kind of malfunction with the appeals process, I am stuck until I can get hold of a real person. The bots are fighting themselves. Yes. Yes, it's very much, it does make you believe in dead internet theory. That the bots are fighting the bots to keep bot levels down, But what can you do? Indoor swimming pools. The room I'm in now, the floor slopes over 300 millimeters. So, like, from one end to the other, about that. That's impressive. Oh, you can't actually see my hands on the screen. Can I make it so that... I don't know if I can. I would have to go back a bit. Anyway, that's quite a long way. What can you do? Create more bots. You're the Just Stab Me. Yes, yeah, I am the writer of the book, Just Stab Me Now, which was originally a YouTube series, which was briefly monetized on YouTube Shorts. Actually, it didn't make me a lot of money, but I put the whole series out, and then they were like, "Hey, in January we're going to start monetizing YouTube Shorts," and I went, "Oh man!" But hey, live and learn. The bot fighting will continue until morale improves. Ordered your book from Waterstones. Will be picking it up today. I will help monetize you. I appreciate that. We saw your bot hands. Yes, it is you. I watched every short. Thank you. I appreciate that. There is, if you ever want to feel like watching it again in future, there is, you can search Just Stab Me Now, and there is a compilation, which also has me reading excerpts from the book at the end of it. Because a lot of people said, "Oh, I read the book, but I saw the shorts, but I only saw about 3 of the shorts, and they were all in some random order, but I thought I'd just buy the book and see how it was." So, is there also an audiobook for it as well? There will be. Currently, basically, I have recorded the audiobook 3.5 times at this point, and during one of those recordings, as in the one that was the best sort of performance-wise, the microphone started dying. And so the audio... The audio quality, but also the qualities of the audio are completely different from chapter 1 to chapter 23. And so I am hoping that at some point in the future, my audio engineer will come back to me and say, this is as good as I can make it, and this is going to have to be good enough. The reason it's taking so long is that ACX is quite fussy, and so it really wants all of your chapters to sound the same. And so he's trying to bring up the chapters which sound worse, and then make worse the chapters which are too good. And it's taking a long time, and I don't know when that's going to happen. And then even when I get the files, I have to listen to them and put, we have to do any corrections. And then once you upload them to ACX, it can take some time before they actually approve it. So at this point, who knows? But when I know something, you will know something. It's annoying that sites have shifted from customer service to help centers where you're only allowed to have pre-approved problems. Yes. Yeah. This is the problem that I had when I lived in Germany. Because, everyone tells you that Germans love bureaucracy, and that it has been my experience that is true, or at least, at least institutionally they love bureaucracy. On a personal level, they just kind of put up with it because who loves filling out forms? But German bureaucracy can be relatively efficient as long as you are a standard sort of person, as long as they have a category for you. But I was odd, and so everything was harder. Because I was odd because I was there with my husband, and so I was on my husband's health insurance, and so that part was okay. But also I was self-employed, but also some other thing, but also this. And so I was very non-standard, and that meant that there were always more forms, and it was never the right form that I'd done. Yeah, they allow you to have problems, but you can only have pre-approved problems. There are two. One is 42 minutes, the other is 46 minutes. The main, so the difference between the 42 and the 46-minute one is that the 46-minute one has extra episodes on the end, and also a couple of excerpts from the book. So the 42-minute one is the complete story, and then the 46-minute one has a couple of bonus episodes where Caroline talks about the royal wedding or whatever, and also some excerpts from the book. So they're pretty similar. I would advise the 46-minute one. You can always, decide whether or not you want to watch all of it. Didn't know you lived in Germany for a while. Yeah, for 2 years. They were very nice. I rode my bike a lot. Got overtaken by teenage girls on bikes. I went to the secondhand bike shop when we moved there because I thought, we're in the northwest, it's nice and flat, we shall cycle places, and I don't really want to drive a left-hand drive car on the right-hand side of the road, sort of thing. I didn't want to have to get a different car and learn how to drive on the right-hand side of the road or whatever. Not on a regular basis. So I went to the secondhand bike shop, and I said I would like a bike with gears, this with the aid of Google Translate, and he looked at me like I was mad, and I thought I'd mispronounced the German word for gears. No, it's just that nobody does that in Germany. He was like, you want a mountain bike? And I said, yeah, I guess so. Because, everybody else just has one fixed gear bike, or maybe there are 3 gears. But the teenage girls will still overtake you without seeming to put any effort in. It's quite strange. I don't know why the teenage girls in Germany are in such a hurry, but they cycle extremely quickly as compared to everyone else. Maybe they're all late for school, I don't know. But yes, we lived in the northwest for 2 years, and it was very nice. But I was also quite happy to get back to England, where everybody speaks English, and so it's not a struggle for me to communicate what it is that I want, Also, I never want to have to do German taxes ever again. It was... we ended up having to get a friend of my husband's to come in and tell us how, just walk us through each step of it. Because again, I was non-standard, and that meant we had to do a full tax return, and it was not a fun time. It was really not. All of the words were in German, and you couldn't, it wouldn't let you sort of you couldn't copy them out to translate a word you didn't know. And all of them were extremely kind of technical financial German terms. And I was like, this is not going to work. We need help. All my bikes in Germany had at least 5 gears. Maybe those ones just don't last. I don't know. But the guy in the secondhand bike shop had like 400 bikes of various different, 400 bikes of various sizes, and 3 of them had gears. And 2 of them were falling apart, so I got the other one. And then I went to a different bike shop and got a different secondhand bike, which had gears, for my husband. And then we were good to go. Straighten the wonky picture on the wall behind you. I would love to. And I shall. I mean, it is... Like, I don't know if both of them are wonky, or if it's just the one of them. I had to move them. Because they were... that there was some kind of weird glare issue. So I will do that, but I will not do it right now because I'm not getting out of this chair, because otherwise the chair will run away. What is the picture behind you with the geometric shapes? Oh, that is a picture of Belfast. So it is landmarks in Belfast. So you've got the clock tower on the city hall, I think. You've got the Titanic Museum. You've got a big fish sculpture. And you've also got the Harland and Wolff, one of the Harland and Wolff cranes. So that's what the yellow thing is. Is your chair also an AI? Jill, I bought your book, but I haven't read it because I've been busy with work. What kind of cheese should I eat while I read it? I feel like, crackers and cheese and grapes. So I always like a brie with crackers and maybe some grapes. But, I would definitely use a plate, because I don't know about you, but every time I try and read something and eat crackers, it is a terrible mess. But there we go. I dread doing a full return in my native language. Like, I have got my personal tax return. Like, I can do it in half an hour or 20 minutes if I've organized myself first. But German taxes or something else, man. And nowadays I have to do a business tax return, and so you have to have that done by an accountant. So I just have to give them all the information. But hey, anything is straightforward compared to the US tax system. That's fair. What happened to the silver play button? Did you stab it? Yes, I did. There's a short about it somewhere. I think it's called How Stab Proof is a Silver Play Button. The Doctor Who painting is the 10th Doctor running away from the TARDIS. The one that's just black and white is a letter. It is the letter from Persuasion, and there's a quote from Persuasion. It says, "I am half agony, half hope," on it. And then the other one is something from a convention that I have not been to, which contains lots of little characters who I don't know who they are. As a Brit, I've never even thought about doing taxes. Yes, pay as you earn is a wonderful thing. Sometimes I miss it, but what can you do? Why was Jill crying? I was not. I've got fencing class and a concert. Have a fun time. That sounds like a good time. If you want a new play button, YouTube allows you to order up to 8 new ones. That is true, but it does charge you like a couple of $100 per play button, if I recall correctly. I think it's at least 100. They send you the first one for free. But if you want a shiny new one because you broke it, or you want one to give to a team member or something like that, then you have to pay. The Titanic Museum is built on the dock where the ship was born. Indeed. I went to the Titanic Museum recently, actually, because I hadn't been since they had redone it. So they redid it during the pandemic, and they have a lot of the same things there, but they also have a lot of new stuff, which is quite fun. I thought it was a really good... It's a good museum. It's got lots of interesting stuff in it. Appreciate the shorts compilations. I'm old and can't watch anything shorter than 3 minutes. Fair. The stream is about bots being believing Jill is a bot. It's true. 7 a.m. here now. Are we open yet? Can I go to bed yet? If you haven't been to bed already and it's 7 a.m. where you are, like, you probably should go to bed. I'm just like throwing that out there for your general health. Did you visit the HMS Caroline? I didn't. what's the title about? Right. My AdSense has been disabled, possibly because of robots. We're not entirely sure. I tried to appeal it and was told that I didn't exist, and so I can't appeal because I don't exist and my AdSense account is fine. But I do exist and my AdSense account is not fine. So I thought I'd come on and tell you all about it. The channel itself is still fine. It's like, it doesn't have any ads on it, but none of the videos themselves have been affected. It's just the monetization side. But should there be more shenanigans, because this seems like shenanigans to me, should there be more shenanigans, you can find me on Odyssey. You can also find me on Patreon and things like that. But for the moment, the channel seems to be fine. I'm just waiting for the East Coast of America to get into work so I can try and find a human being who can help me, because I tried emailing my partner manager and her email address doesn't exist anymore. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe she has left Google. That does happen, you know, but it does put me in a bit of a bind, because I can't, I'm not monetized. I can't appeal that demonetization, and I can't talk to the person who is in charge of helping me with any problems I have, because she may or may not exist now. So, you know, I have been advised by chat that what I should do is dig out my Twitter login and poke YouTube on Twitter. Problems with YouTube. 1, it's YouTube. 2, it's owned by Google. 3, it's based in California. That's true. I might have to wait for the West Coast to wake up. She was a bot the whole time. Good luck from Australia. Thank you. I hope you have plenty of cheese in the meantime. I do. That being said, it's like midnight where you are. So possibly you should go to bed also. I'm just like, I'm not telling anyone what to do, but I'm just saying that I do realize that for some of you it is quite late. You know. First there was besotted, now there is bebotted, yeah. It's only 11. Could you not bribe YouTube by sending them some cheese? I would, but bots don't care about cheese, which is how you know that we're all in trouble. It's 10 p.m. in Australia, but I am totally going to bed. Okay, well, you know, that is also fine. It's ages until midnight, minutes and minutes. If you're in Europe, like, obviously, it's the afternoon for you, because it is the afternoon for me also. Or at the very least, the late morning. And so you guys are fine. I'm just saying that the people who are getting towards bedtime should maybe go to bed. You know, I will still be here, not on the live stream, hopefully, but I will still be here, you know, when you get up again. Maybe it might even, maybe we might even, you know, make it work. Okay, let's see. You never know. I might have a cookies. Do you already have an account? Yes. Okay. Can you enter your password? Verification code. You must remove text message two-factor authentication. Only X premium subscribers can use that. Okay. Which I think tells you everything you need to know. Okay, let's see. Right. This is confusing. It is asking me, it told me to turn off two-factor authentication, but also it's now asking me to choose my verification method. It's a bit weird. Maybe I just don't want to I don't know. All right, let's. Okay, it won't let me do anything. It won't let me do anything because it's like, no, I don't know. If it thinks I think it thinks I'm a bot as well. Maybe I am. Like, how many different platforms have to tell you that you're acting suspiciously before you realize that you're actually a robot? Right, okay. If I uh who do I talk to? Hang on. I'm going to put you guys back on because you are better than Twix. And you can probably tell me useful things. So, have you got a YouTube creators office near you? I know one in London. It was, or is still is, by King's Cross Station. Do you know? I have been there once, but it has closed down now. When I lived nearer to London, I went there for I went there to meet somebody because they said, oh yeah, you can come in and use the space anytime you want, and you can blah blah blah. And so I knew someone who was going to be in London, and so I said, we can meet in the place because we both have access to this thing. It doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure they closed it down, but there we go. Is the web trying to gaslight you? Yes. Two-factor authentication is a tier on X. Well, it used to be two-factor authentication was available for everyone, and now I believe it is only available if you subscribe, which obviously I'm not going to do. Don't turn off two-factor. But it won't let me log in it wouldn't let me log in if I didn't, which is a bit of a problem. Anyway, sounds like a hack. The web is trying to gaslight you. That's a weird thing to pay. Well, yeah. Hey ho. What do we do? Right. Okay, we need at team YouTube. Sorry, guys. I'm taking your very good advice. Yeah, no, I don't want to follow anyone. Like, why would I want to follow anyone? I don't do the Twitter. Right, okay, we have done the thing. We have done the thing, and now we will Okay, I'm not going to do that while on stream because it will just be me staring at the screen going, what is that? Why do thing? Don't understand why thing is done. Talk to our AI assistant. I don't want to talk to your assistant. I want to talk to YouTube. I want to talk to a human. That's the whole problem. Ah! What do you do? She says, but. Jill has crashed and needs to reboot. It's true. What can you do? Jill is currently rebooting. It takes a while. Sounds like you're in the process of being hacked. Yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange. But, alright, if you give me a minute, I'm gonna... I'm gonna actually do the thing. Right. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. The problem was that I had a method of two-factor authentication on, which is now only, you can still have 2FA on, you just can't have that particular kind unless you're a subscriber. But you can have a different kind. Right. Right. Huh? Oh, no, I don't want to learn more about it. I want to turn it back on. Right. Right, okay, I've got this, guys. Don't worry, I'm not being hacked. I'm just mildly incompetent. It's fine. Well, okay, no, that's not true. I might still be being hacked, but I at least am not being hacked on Twix. Hooray! We've turned 2FA back on. Woo! Everyone is in awe of my amazing account security. I'm so glad that apparently I, still have that password. Good for me. Let's see if we can... There we go. All right. Thank you for your patience. I mean, I appreciate that you're all just kind of hanging around chatting to me, and that's nice. Jill is currently rebooting. All right, so we have for latecomers, Jill has been wombled by bots and is now arguing with the bots. It is true. The latest update on that is that I have now managed to log back into Twix. For the first time in some considerable time. There was a bit of a faff about two-factor authentication because I had to turn it off because I had the wrong kind, the kind that you have to pay for now. But now I've turned it on to a kind that you no longer have to, that you don't have to pay for. So I now have two-factor authentication back on. Don't worry, it's fine. And I have tweeted at Team YouTube to say, look, could somebody fix fixing? Could you fix? Anyway, if you're hacking something, you need a progress bar on the screen. TV and movies told me so. They wouldn't lie to me. It's true. It's true. I watched, funnily enough, maybe this is what the problem was. I watched Die Hard 4.0 the other day. The one where they blow up a gas main by the power of hacking. And it was a great time. It was a great time. I think my favorite hacking on TV is the one in NCIS where Abby and McGee are typing on the same keyboard to try and stop the hack, and then Gibbs stops it by pulling out the plug of the computer. That's my favorite. Anyway, bye Jonathan. Nice to see you. You got the fix on Twix. I'm sorry that you had to go through this. Use Twitter, that is. Did you tweet to YouTube or YouTube creators? The last one is more effective. I think it was Team YouTube or at Team YouTube, but I can always, tweet at somebody else. That is how the Twitter works, as far as YouTube creators. Okay, let's see. My AdSense has been disabled, and the appeal form keeps telling me I don't exist, so can't appeal. Please assist. Question mark. Right. There we go. Sometimes the low-tech solution is the best. I mean, if you can stop someone hacking, I presume your servers, by pulling the plug out of a random PC connected to the servers, then I have questions. But, what do I know about hacking? Nothing. So, ignore this, try YouTube creators. Yes, I have now now tweeted at them as well. Someone needs to unplug YouTube, then plug it back in. Use SQL to corrupt their databases. This is classic 2013 YouTube nonsense. Yeah. This is why originally I was on Blip and I just cross-posted to YouTube because I started my YouTube account and my Blip account in 2011 because I have been here a long time. And it's really weird because I have been monetized on YouTube basically since YouTube offered monetization and I was on it. As in, they didn't used to have requirements like the 4,000 hours of watch time and the 1,000 subscribers thing. You could just get monetized and then you would earn 5 cents a month, sort of thing, if you didn't have very many views. But it's a little bit strange that it's happening now, but never mind. Power cycle maintenance cures all problems. Blue Sky for the win. Blue Sky just seems like Twitter, but I don't know how it works. And so, also I just don't enjoy social media platforms. I don't like not being able to, I prefer to talk to people that I can see, mostly. And even when you talk to people on YouTube, at least they can see you. Like, you can't see them, and so you don't know if they are robots, but at least they know that you're a real person, and so that mitigates some of the kind of weirdness. If you're both just typing things, social media is a weird place. I mean, social media is a weird place anyway, and that includes YouTube, but Dad, you can't back up the internet. You gotta flip this into an opportunity to get more viewers. Special ad-free day for the channel. Yeah. What if I'm a robot? Like, you could be. I mean, maybe I am too. Twitter might have thought so. YouTube apparently also thinks so. So, sure, you definitely can see us. I mean, I can see you typing, I gave up on Twitter after I had 3 arguments in a row and nothing good in between. Like, that's basically it. If I want to go argue with somebody, I'm sure I can find someone in real life, but I don't actually want to argue with anyone. I just want to, have a chat without arguing with people, generally speaking. So that's where we are. Did you publicly or privately at YouTube? Publicly, because you can't, direct message them. Can you? I probably need to follow them, don't I? That seems... Oh, at YouTube. At Team YouTube? We probably need to follow them because if I don't, then how will they, they can message me back, I assume, but, they could DM me if we follow each other. Just that makes sense, right? It's been a long time, so I don't really remember how Twitter works, but I feel like you need to follow people, and then it's more likely that they'll be able to message you directly. I don't know. It's hard to just have a chat online. This is a 10-minute argument to the full half hour. I love that. I love that sketch. Everything is a simulation. I can see the light. Maybe chat with people about books. Nah, see, this is the thing. If I want to chat with people about books, I have plenty of people I can do that with in real life. Like, I went to a friend's house on Sunday and we spent half an hour in the kitchen waiting for things to cook and talking about video games, and nobody butted in to give us their own opinion on it. He talked, and then I talked, and then he talked, and then we discussed things, and then I said, what do you think about this? And then we talked about something else, and it was very pleasant. And, nobody butted in to tell me something that was completely irrelevant. Or tried to spam me with stuff about, random things that I don't care about. Or I'm not interested in. I'm just saying, real people over social media, when possible, every time. I use Twitter for 3 accounts and 2 are cats. Nice. Oh no, the chat has jumped, and so I did not read the rest of your message. But I like the third. I'm sure the third one is also excellent. Let's see. There's an antenna on the roof I can see. Whoa, such real interaction. I have never been on Twitter. What's it like? I don't know anymore because I haven't been on there in a while, but it exists, I guess. You can at people there. Real people often have real food with them, so win-win. That is true. That is true. It is never a bad thing to, like, eat things. Oh sorry. Right. Let's go back. We hear you. Mind sharing a full page screenshot of your Earn tab and your channel URL so we can check. Hooray! Guys, they talk to me. How do I? Right. Can I send you that via DM, please? Guys, that it actually worked. It actually worked. Well, okay, I'm not going to say it actually worked because we haven't actually fixed the problem yet, but we've got like we've got hold of a person possibly who is going to do something. So that's pretty exciting. It's a person. Is it a person? No, it's a bot. I mean, it may well still be a bot. Let's be real. But it may be a bot that can, you know, connect me to a person. So, hold on. We need to make this smaller because it doesn't. There we go. Right. Okay. Does anybody know where Does anybody know where the thing with your channel doodad on it is? Settings, maybe. Settings? Channel. No. Advanced settings. No. All right. We're going to have to Google it. Where is my channel ID on YouTube? You would think I would know these things after 13 and a half years, but I do not. Okay. No. No. All right. It says go to settings, go to advanced. That doesn't exist. Okay, let's try here. Your channel URL is this. That's fine, but that doesn't help me. Okay, it's the last part of your channel URL under customization. All right, hold on. You guys can help me. I appreciate that you're all just hanging out and, you know, helping me to do things. You know, I appreciate that. I have a Twitter. No. All right, hold on. Bots, things. But nobody knows these things. All right, it's the last part of your channel URL under customization. I don't know how to get that though, because my channel URL, at least to me, I just put in Jill Bearup. Click on your icon top right. Should bring up a menu. All right, let's go. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's try this one. Signed in as yourself. Yes, there we go. Thank you. You were, in fact, entirely right. There was an entirely different menu, which you get to by clicking on your face, which gives you a different set of... And people say that YouTube isn't intuitive. I don't know why they say that. There's no way that's true. Okay, Team YouTube. How do I send them a direct message? I don't know. I still don't know. Okay. How do I send a direct message? Thank you, Ilsa. That was just what I needed. Right, okay, hang on. I'm going to put this in a separate document so I don't lose it, because they're bound to ask for it at least 18 more times. So I'm going to paste it in there before I lose it. There we go. Fantastic. You guys are so helpful. I appreciate you very much. Let's see. Do you follow them? I do follow them. Click their profile and it should have a message. Okay. Click their profile. I don't see it. Turn off reposts, view topics, add or remove, share profile, mute, block, or report. Notify? No, that's not it. I think that they aren't following me, and so I can't send them anything. But I can, to be fair, let's see. Okay. Oh, channel URL. Oh, I'm a complete dum-dum. They only, never mind. All right, so we can, they don't need the channel ID. I mean, they probably will need the channel ID at a later point. But right now they just need the channel URL, which is as easy as pie. There we go. Huzzah! Good job, everybody. I don't know if that's how quickly that is going to help, as it were, but we're doing very well. All this technology, it still takes forever to get anything done. It's true. Who's more helpful, one customer service bot or 500 random internet strangers? Like, to be fair, I think it is, we need, the 500 random internet strangers are very important, but you also need the one person who can actually flip the switch for you. But there we go. Let's see. I have to head to work. Glad to get a real person to respond. Thank you. I hope you have, well, I hope you have a good time at work. This is, I had someone call me today, you know, one of those, hey, you know, you used our service for something like a year ago. We were just calling up to ask you if you wanted to fill in some forms to see if you're eligible for, I said, no, I'm having a payroll issue. And so I need to go figure out how to, get paid. And they said, oh, that's no problem. Well, if you need us, you know where we are. But like, to be fair, it's not strictly speaking a payroll issue, because I am a company who employs me and I pay me, and so that's fine. But you know, January would be a bit of a sad month if I don't get paid for December, and that would be a bit unfortunate, really. Crowdsourcing YouTube fixes. Joke's on them. This is up on my third monitor at work. Do you know why I've been demonetized? Late to the stream. That is okay. Like, as I said, I started at, I don't know, 11 o'clock or whatever it was, and so, you know, many people were asleep. No, I don't know why AdSense has been disabled. That is why I'm trying to talk to a person. But everybody said, you just need to go to Twitter, Jill. And I said, but I don't want to go to Twitter. And so, and then I went to Twitter and they almost immediately responded. I assume that the immediate response is a bot, but also there are probably actual humans there. This is helpful background vibes to motivate myself to organize some stuff and tackle some challenging paperwork. This is good. I'm glad that we are motivating you. Ask yourself for a raise. Yeah. I suppose it is a useful thing to be like, yes, I cannot be fired from my job unless my boss hates me, but since my boss is me, we're probably safe. It does mean that the problem with being self-employed, as it were, is that your boss is always a nightmare. But, you know, that you can fix that by being nicer to yourself, I guess. Anyway, let's see if we have anything back from... No, we don't have anything back from them yet, but, you know, they did message me 11 minutes ago, and now I have messaged them back some other number of minutes ago, so that is okay. I might delete that other DM one because they don't need that. They just need this one, which I have now given them. Hooray for me. Asking yourself for a raise and getting denied would be crushing. Firing yourself is a hell of a power move. Yeah. What if your boss is secretly a bot? I mean, to be fair, the entirety of all of the internet programs I've tried to use today have been a bit suspicious of me. So, you know, that's check your email. Yes, that is a good point. I should. Nope. But at the very least, my email has said, you turned off two-factor authentication on X. You turned on two-factor authentication on X, so I'm glad to know that it is working correctly. She regularly complains her boss is a real jerk and makes her work weekends. Another win for the Jill Bearup technical support team. Oh, dear. Oh. I suppose you don't have to worry about having an affair with your boss's spouse. Not really technical support. The best part about being self-employed is nobody minds when you take an extra long lunch. I mean, that's true. You know, you can do what you want, but the other problem with it is that also you can do what you want. I remember at the very beginning of the pandemic, I was talking to a friend of mine who is a full-time YouTuber in a somewhat different capacity, or he was a full-time YouTuber at the time. I think he has a different job now, but he said. I said, yeah, I've done this video and I've got this one planned, and then I'll probably do one about this. And he was like, I'm so impressed by your productivity. How are you getting all of the things done? And I went, well, I have like available time now because, it was the part of the pandemic where things were open for a bit again. Like, kids could go to school and nursery and stuff like that. And I went, well, I've got like these 3.5 hours. I can get loads of stuff done in those 3.5 hours. I mean, I can't really get anything done after that, but, watch me go. It turns out if you have to compress things into a certain amount of time, that does make you more efficient. Work does indeed expand to fill the time available, which, is a lesson I've been learning lately, because I'm like, why am I getting fewer things done? And then I just went, you need more arbitrary deadlines, Jill. That's what it is. So I decided to set myself some arbitrary deadlines, and lo and behold, I have got more done. Self-employment means you have to play productivity mind games on yourself. But, at least that's more ethical than trying to play them on other people. The great thing about being an adult is no one to tell you what to do. The terrible thing about being an adult is no one to tell you what to do. Yeah. Working from home can be hard, but as long as you get on, it's easy. Like, working from home has many advantages, but, some people are really good at working from home, and some people are fine with working from home, and some people probably don't get on as well working from home. And if you are one of those people, like, there's no shame in that. I do fine in an office environment. Like, I've had jobs where I was based in an office, and that's fine. But I do like working from home better. But I also know that I can get things done. And some people find that it's just much more difficult when they're in their own houses to get things done. And that's okay, because we are all different. Okay, let's go check on the Twix again. See if... No. Post analytics. It has one view. Well, I hope the one view was YouTube. We live and hope. No, it has 5 views. Well, hopefully one of those views was like actually YouTube. Who knows? We'll find out. Anyway, nothing so far, but we'll see. Are you on Blue Sky yet? No, and I will not be, because for the same reason that I had to, faff about with Twitter, I don't like social media, so I don't do social media. I like YouTube, though, so I do YouTube. I tolerate TikTok. Though, I did find, right, so I thought, a couple of months ago, I thought to myself, do I need to go to the doctor? Is there something... I was having terrible concentration issues. I'm tired, I couldn't... when you have a real problem holding thoughts in your head for too long, and I thought to myself, is there something wrong with me? Am I dying of something horrible? Because obviously your brain immediately goes, oh no, it must be like something really bad. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, I mean, there are a bunch of things like big projects which you're trying to juggle at the minute, so that might be contributing to it. But also, you forgot to delete TikTok off your phone after you uploaded your last couple of videos, and you have been watching TikTok. Maybe you should delete TikTok off your phone, Jill, and then we'll see how we go. Yeah, it turns out that was the problem. Like, I cannot keep TikTok on my phone. I can't watch it. It just makes me completely unable to function like an adult. Or not even like an adult. Like, you can function, but it's really hard. Like, if you've watched any any amount of, like, the little scrolly things, just doing normal stuff is really, really difficult. So I deleted TikTok off my phone, and the next day I was fine. Like, oh great, I'm back to normal. I'm not actually dying of brain cancer. Everything is okay. So yes, if you find yourself with, terrible brain fog and you don't know why, it might be TikTok. I'm just going to throw that out there. Because having deleted it, I was like, oh, see, I have a fair number of friends who have ADHD, and I'm like, this is what it must be like. This is what it must be like to have ADHD. And boy, this is really, really difficult. I would struggle quite a lot if this were my everyday experience. Good grief. So, it is good to... I'm not sure if that is exactly analogous to the experience of having ADHD, but it seemed similar in some of the things that they have described to me. And I was like, wow, I now have much more empathy with how hard that is. And you can't fix yours by deleting TikTok, so that sucks. Thank you for keeping me distracted. It is time. Good night, or good day, or whatever it is that you are doing. TikTok is brain cancer. I don't know if I'd necessarily say that, but it's it's whatever way it reacts with my brain is definitely bad. Can confirm ADHD is difficult, and social media sure does replicate the experience. Yeah. I'm supposedly high-functioning autistic. That implies that I can function. Ouch. That's... Ow. Yeah. As someone with ADHD, TikTok and Instagram are basically the ADHD of apps. I can't use them at all. That's fair. Like I said, I have never really used Instagram, and Instagram, because I don't have an account, it hates me. So anytime anyone says, oh yeah, I'm going to talk to this person, this is their Instagram, I'm like, could you just send me a screenshot of what their face looks like? Because I can't see that page at all. It just, there's like a slightly blurry picture and a big thing saying, did you want to log in? Like, no, I didn't, but thanks anyway, I guess. No, I thought I had a notification, but it was just somebody liking my post, which was, nice, but unfortunately was not YouTube saying, oh, look, we know what your problem is now. Hey-ho. Just dropping in before work, can't stay, but I hope it gets sorted out. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't have TikTok, just Discord. I like Discord. I don't really, I only really use it to play D&D on, with my D&D group, but yeah, I like Discord. I don't really know how to use most of it, but it is good. This stream is up on my third monitor. I have Facebook open on my phone. I am the ADHD. But yeah. YouTube and Discord are the closest social media I use, and I'm okay with that. It's fair. Got to go. All right. Have a good day to all the people who now have to leave and go to work. I appreciate that you came to hang out with me while I attempted to crowdsource the solution to my problems. Waking up the US, and so you got demonetized. Yes, so update for those of you who are just joining in. Welcome. I said, chat, what should I do? In a non-ironic use of the word chat, because that's who you guys are collectively. I said, chat, what should I do? And chat told me that I should go on Twix. And I said, I don't know if I can do that, but it turns out that I did have my password saved somewhere. So that was good. And then it said, you can't have this 2FA, and then we had to turn it off, and then we had to turn it on again, but that's not really the point. The point is that I tweeted them, and then the YouTube robot on Twix said, please send us a screenshot and also your channel URL. And that was good. So I've done that, and now we're waiting for them to say something useful again. Whether or not that's going to happen, or when that's going to happen, I don't know. But we have definitely made more progress in that kind of 15 minutes than we made for the whole kind of hour and a half that I spent on live support and sending emails and whatever else I was doing this morning. Because when I tried to use the official channels, it told me that I didn't exist. So, hey-ho. Have a good day, Alan, and we'll see you. You get here just from the end. No, I'm, we're basically just hanging out, and I am telling you what's happening as it happens. I will probably go soon and have my lunch and stuff and wait for YouTube creators to respond. But the short version of the story is that my AdSense account has been deleted, not just like deactivated, they've removed it. The YouTube channel is fine, but we need to get the AdSense account back up and running because my channel is making no money as of this moment. I tried to appeal that decision, and they told me that the ID that I was trying to use didn't exist, but also that the AdSense account was still active. I'm like, I don't think both of those things can be true at the same time, but whatever. So I tried to get in touch with my partner manager, whose email doesn't exist. It just bounced. And so I thought I'd come on the internet and ask my YouTube, I figured my YouTube comment section is always a fount of good advice, and they said, go on Twix. And I said, okay. And so I did, and now we are waiting for Twix to be useful. But nothing has happened so far. Schrodinger's AdSense account. Yeah. Hey ho. Like, as I was saying, Patreon, we still have. Patreon is up at the top here as the pinned thing. So, nothing is wrong with the YouTube account itself currently. If shenanigans occur, you can find me on Odyssey. Most of my videos are backed up over there. Or on Patreon. They have their own player. Nope. That was my brother. He probably also wants to know, what's going on. But, because, my family are subscribed to me on YouTube, so, which I appreciate very, very greatly. But the point is, it's not a massive, it's a headache, but it's not a crisis, right? I don't want anybody thinking that I'm going to be out on the streets or something. It's a headache because they've turned off my ability to make money from YouTube ads, and we don't know why, and we don't know how long it's going to take to get it switched back on. But we're okay. I need to get it fixed, and so I'm probably going to spend an unreasonable amount of hours over the next who knows how long getting it done. But, nobody panic. Don't panic, Captain Mannering. Everything is going to be okay. Your mum has talked. Yes. If he wants to know what's going on, he should watch the scream. Yes. Now picturing your brother watching you hang up on him on stream. Indeed. Indeed. YouTube turned off my ability to make a living. Well, yeah, yes and no, but AdSense is not actually on a really good month. For YouTube AdSense, AdSense is the most amount of money that I get from all of the different places that give me money, like book royalties and merch and Patreon. But usually Patreon is the thing that gives me the most money. There were a couple of very notable months when it was book royalties, because I think that was May, because in May I got all of the money from all of the pre-orders that people had done. And I went, wow, there we go. So those were a couple of pretty good months. But generally Patreon is what makes me the most money, and then it's YouTube AdSense, and then it's other stuff. Panicking right now. The crooked picture is bugging me. Yeah, I had to move all of the pictures around, and some of them did not take kindly to it. The fact that your partner manager's email doesn't work makes me so mad. Like, even the lady switched positions, you should have been notified. Yeah, I don't know if it's possibly it's just an out only email address, like, and so it's it doesn't exist for people to send things to. But even so, it would be nice to be able to reliably contact someone at YouTube. Hey, what do you do? Is your content objectionable? Why were you demonetized? It's nothing to do with the content. It's nothing to do with the content. If it was a problem with the content, then a specific video would have a notice on it. This is basically my make money account from AdSense, which is separate to YouTube. You just have to join them together. But they've decided that the AdSense account itself is suspicious in some way, and so they've just closed it. Like, you're actually a robot. Robots are making money from this YouTube channel, so we're closing you. We're closing you down. Turn in your badge and gun. Anyway, what can one do? Yes, I suspect get humans to look is the hard part here. Go to the Google European HQ in Dublin. Yeah, that would be quite a trip. But it is possible someone in my greater circle of semi-professional contacts can find a human inside Google. If I find someone, I'll let you know. I appreciate that. I do. It's one of those things. No. Still nothing sad, but I suppose they might. I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe they're actually looking into it, and so that's why it's taking a bit longer. You prove you're not a bot by jumping through all these hoops. Yeah. It's interesting. You have to talk to a bunch of bots to prove you aren't a bot. Yeah, it's true. YouTube on Twitter tends to be good for these things. I know, it is a frightening irony that the best way to get in contact with a large platform is to talk to their representatives on a different platform. Like, I feel like there's something a little bit off there. I did talk to a live service representative this morning, but they could not tell me why the channel had been demonetized or what the problem was. They're just like, no, sorry, you need to follow the appeals process. And so I said, okay, and off I went to do that, and then it didn't work, and then I went, okay. But if I go back to the live chat, they're like, I don't know if they can help with that, so we'll see. It's a modern Turing test. Yeah. My dryer decided not to dry my clothes, so now I get to go to work damp and cold. That sounds very fun. Good luck. Even the slightly distressing video is amazing premium content. Well, I'm glad that you think so, because, I'm just, sitting here randomly talking to you. But I appreciate that you're all... There are 587 people currently watching. That's that's a little concerning, guys. I do appreciate it, though. But hey, YouTube took the DMV customer service model, clearly. Goodbye, Simon. Have a good day. Why make it simple and easy when they can overcomplicate it? Yeah. Was the term delay, deny, demonetize. Thank you to everyone who is now. We're having another sort of round of people leaving for work, etc., or going to bed. That's also a thing that people do, which is good. Yes, I love that the Team YouTube response, the official Team YouTube response, which was 31 minutes ago, by the way, was "We hear you." Mind sharing a full page screenshot of your earn tab and your channel URL so we can check. Which is good, but it was the "we hear you." Like, yes, I'm glad to hear that. Everybody, all of the people, all two of the people who I've managed to talk to, have been very sympathetic, just unable to help. I mean, they might have still been bots, but it's bedtime. I just turned into a pumpkin. Good night. It's midnight in Australia. Yeah, some of you are gonna before you turn into pumpkins, you should go to bed. No offense, but you chatting is great background noise. That's entirely fair. I also listen to people just chat away at me in the background sometimes when I am doing things. I have you in the background while I work as moral support. I like that. Like, the thing about YouTube videos is that sometimes they don't really... I like listening to YouTube videos while I do stuff, but... sometimes you just want someone to blither at you for an extended period of time on nothing particularly interesting. And if there's no one around to do that, then you can just, watch a very long YouTube video, or indeed a live stream, as it turns out. So, I'm not offended by being people's background noise. I'm pretty sure that I am people's background noise quite a lot of the time. I said I missed something. Or I was going to read something and it has gone. But never mind. 587 is a full venue. Yep. I work in tech as a reliability engineer. And I wonder if this is a pure, straightforward, incorrect decision made in the logic chain, or more of an actual glitch in the system or issue happened. I'm here for lunch. I mean, it is lunchtime. Possibly I should go and have some lunch soon. I made carrot and parsnip soup yesterday, but I made it. So I was going to send some to some friends of mine. I was going to bring them some soup because reasons. That's not important. The important point was that it had to be low salt. And so I made it with chicken stock cubes, which were usual, but 0 salt chicken stock cubes. And I've come to the conclusion that 0 salt chicken stock cubes are an abomination unto noggin, because my soup tastes not as good as it usually does. Possibly I should just try... I can try adding some salt, I suppose, and seeing if that fixes it. Stereotypically, I did just eat my soup yesterday with a lot of cheese, because I thought, well, if it's because it's not salty enough, then the cheese will fix that. But yeah, 0 salt stock cubes, 0 out of 10, do not recommend. You should get yourself a snack. Yes, but then I would have to go away and go down a couple of floors and so on. Salt makes everything taste better. I mean, it's true. I just spilled a whole glass of water on my work laptop. That doesn't sound great. Should we tell her that cheese has salt? That was the point. I put the cheese in my own soup, but the other people's soup had to be low salt. And so when I give it to them, I will just say, you should add your own amount of salt to, your own level, as it were, because, maybe they can put in a little bit of salt and that will make it acceptable. Or, for the one person can have more salt and one person has to have only a very tiny amount, or however it goes. What do you plan to eat for lunch? I don't know. Probably the soup again, to be fair. But this time I will add some salt, and I'm hoping when I reheat it, that might concentrate it down a little bit, so that might make it taste a bit better. Are you aware of YouTube AI features? I mean, some of them, yes. YouTube is adding AI generated descriptions to some videos. As a creator, you can't opt out or edit them. That's a bit weird, honestly. I mean, we have the subtitles are effectively AI generated, and then I go in and fix them because it doesn't understand my accent. It doesn't understand whenever I say now, it says noi or no or similar. It doesn't, the accent confuses it too much, and so and sometimes it says and it mixes up like do and don't, and so sentences become completely nonsense. But I use for YouTube shorts. You will note that they all have burned in captions on them, and I use Captionator for that, which is also an AI thing, but you still have to manually fix them. Captionator is great though, because before that, for the entire Fantasy Heroine series, I had to manually type all of my subtitles, and it was the worst. But with Captionator, it like cuts that time in thirds, which is a wonderful thing. I also have this program called, oh gosh, what's it called? Recut, which is a Final Cut Pro plugin, which I bought for like $99, and it was made by this one guy called Dave. And every so often I get an email from Dave saying that there's an update to it or something like that. I'm like, I just appreciate, but every time I throw the clips in and it cuts out all the pieces, all the silences, I'm just like, I appreciate you, Dave. And then I export it to a Final Cut Pro file, and it has cut my editing time down so much. It is a wonderful thing. And I appreciate that, Dave. Does anyone actually like YouTube Shorts? I feel like some people do. The machine thinks you're non-standard. I feel like some people do. It can be an excellent medium for doing things. Like the Fantasy Heroine stuff would not... I don't think it would have worked as well in landscape longer form content. The fact that they are skits, YouTube Shorts are good for things which are meant to be funny, I think. They're not really necessarily great for a lot of other stuff, but I feel like they work pretty well for the Fantasy Heroine stuff. That was their kind of ideal platform, as it were. But, TikTok, as previously discussed, gives me terrible brain fog, so I'm not sure that YouTube Shorts are necessarily, like, the greatest thing ever to exist. But, they can be useful. I like the shorts. They're addictive as TikTok and Instagram, though. Yeah, that's fair. I don't really like shorts, but still find myself doom scrolling them. Turn off your watch history. That is my tip for you, because if you turn off your watch history, you can't doom scroll shorts because it doesn't know what the last thing is you watched. And so it says, I'm sorry, we can't provide you with recommendations because you've turned off your watch history. 10 out of 10. Do recommend. 1 second. I am just going to text the person who is calling me and tell them that everything is okay. And, all right. I'm not dead. Yes, turning off the watch history is the best tip ever, isn't you improve my YouTube experience enormously. Yeah, it's really good. It does mean that when you go onto the YouTube homepage, it's just blank. But that does mean that you don't get pulled into watching random things, because presumably you went to YouTube for a reason. So then you can just go to YouTube for that reason. You're not going to end up watching some other random thing unless you get into the video suggestions on the sidebar or whatever. But even those I find are less, less bad than homepage and short scrolling. The thing about let them know this isn't your official meltdown video. You've probably considered this, but could you have been the victim of a phishing attempt? It's entirely possible, but unfortunately, no one at YouTube is currently able to tell me what the problem is, as it were. And so, if I have been, that's very possible, but I don't know until someone actually checks behind the scenes and says, oh, maybe this is what's going on. But who knows? It's really powerful. A blank home screen could be really game-changing. I absolutely 10 out of 10 recommend it, because it's very helpful in, you know, it means when you go on YouTube, you don't think, oh, you think to yourself, why did I come here? And then, you know, you go do that, presumably. I only use the subscriptions tab, not the feed. I hate the feed. That's also fair. I've never found the subscriptions tab to be particularly useful for me. I don't know why. I think because... But I do go in and clean mine out every so often. You know, and I go, I haven't actually watched a video from that channel in 2 years. Unsubscribe. And so on, which I also highly recommend, including my channel. Like, if you think to yourself, I don't really watch these anymore, then you're probably not watching this 2-hour-long live stream in which I waffle at you. But, you know, it's the principle of the thing. If you don't watch the videos, you can, you know, unsubscribe, and that's totally fine. I use YouTube for background music when reading and doing other stuff. Sometimes a recommended tab gives me some nice compilations. That's good. Have you heard about people having YouTube problems like the Shadiversity Sword channel? Yeah, I mean, YouTube is constantly kind of doing weird stuff. And the thing is, so when I was recording the audiobook and doing a bunch of other things over the summer and kind of into the autumn, I basically only made videos which were I didn't make any armor review videos. I only made a couple of sword fight videos. Mostly I made videos which were related to the book in some way. And when I made an armor review video, I got all of these comments, which I expected, but I got all of these comments like, I'm so glad you're back. But because to them I had disappeared for, 8, 9, 10 months. They hadn't seen me because YouTube sort of intuited that they wouldn't like the other kinds of videos. And so when I put up an armor review, they were like, oh, yes, let us feed that to this person because they will like it. And they did, and that was great. But the thing about the algorithm is that it follows the audience. It doesn't... it doesn't create demand, as it were, but it also reinforces itself. So if you don't watch one of my videos, then it's less likely to recommend the next one to you. So then you won't watch that one either. So then it's even less likely to recommend the next one to you, unless it's something that it really knows that you will like. And so YouTube it's constantly changing, and people's tastes constantly change, which is what I was saying about my subscription feed, because I don't subscribe to people anymore really very much, because I tend to find that after a couple of years or even less, I am just not particularly interested in that kind of content anymore. There are some people who I will watch literally anything that they make. Makara Tours, for example, makes sewing videos. Do I know how to sew? Not, kind of a little bit, but do I watch her videos, whenever I see one? Absolutely 100%, because they're fun. But, there are lots of other channels who I used to watch lots of their videos, and now I don't really so much anymore. And it's not because they're different, it's just because I'm not in that kind of phase, as it were. If I'm on my phone, let's see. Annoying how the subscription tab is no longer sorted alphabetically. That's weird. Does anyone know if Jill still gets paid if we buy her merchandise? Yes, I absolutely do. Let's see. You can probably... No, hold on. Let's see. So if you are in America or somewhere else... hang on, I'm going to try and... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I have 2 different URLs. Actually, I have more than that, but... there we go. I teach high school science. I get some crazy questions like, can deaf people read? And can a person have 2 Y chromosomes? Like, I feel if you don't know anything about genetics, then that kind of seems like a reasonable question. I think there is a DSD which means you have an X and two Y chromosomes, but I might be wrong about that. There's definitely one where you have X and Y. But I don't know if there's one where you have X and Y and Y. But there might be. I don't know. Anyway, I love caricatures too. It was, well, she is the reason that I ended up making Holiday Barbie Warrior Princess, because she made the Holiday Barbie dress and she said it looks like armor, and I went, well, and so a Holiday Barbie Warrior Princess was born. So yes, the link that is here is my spread shop, but you can just search Jill Bearup spread shop and it will probably give you your local one. If you're in the UK, it's just Jill Bearup without the dash in it, and then myspreadshop.co.uk, but probably Google will get you there. There is even an Australian version, which is Jill-Bearup, and then it's .com.au. But yes, it does exist, and Spreadshop is completely independent of YouTube. I don't know what would happen if you bought things through YouTube Shopping, so maybe don't do that. But maybe YouTube, I don't know if YouTube Shopping has been disabled. But you can definitely buy things through Spreadshop, because that's totally separate. The name of the sewing channel, has someone given it to her? XYY Jacob Syndrome, there we go. There are certain channels you no longer click with. Exactly. A person with two Y chromosomes is a biological female person. No, that's two X's, because every ova, so that's the large female gamete, that always has an X chromosome, and then the sperm either has an X or a Y in the normal course of things. Sometimes things get a bit hinky, but normally the ova is always X and the sperm is X or Y, and that's when you get XX or XY. What's YouTube Shopping? YouTube Shopping is, if you look underneath, does it have, hang on, I'm going to check. If you're on a desktop and you're watching a video, then sometimes under the video you will see like a row of products, like hoodies, for example, or mugs or whatever, and you can click on those and it'll say, this costs $15 plus taxes or something, and you can click on it and it will take you to a separate website, or I think, and you can buy it. I'm not sure if it happens on mobile, maybe, possibly, but that's how we get to a biology lesson. I just thought that was an interesting question. I'm fading night from Central Australia. Welcome, or rather, thank you for coming, and welcome to the new people. Yes, no one knows why YouTube has demonetized me. We think maybe bot activity. Still no response from Team YouTube. I mean, if they don't get back to me by, past or so, then I'll probably just go and have lunch, and I will update you all at a later point. But, we'll hang around and wait and see if they do things. On mobile, I don't see shopping. Fair enough. It appears on mobile sometimes. Grand. Do you have your channel set up for channel members? Not anymore. Because my AdSense account has been disabled, all of my YouTube memberships have been paused. So if you were expecting to get a bill for that in the next couple of days, then if we get it sorted, you may still. But if we do not, then you won't be billed, because my YouTube memberships have been put on pause. Single X is female too. That's Turner syndrome. There we go. Anyway, so YouTube has been, I tweeted YouTube and said help, and they said please send us a screenshot of your earn tab so we can see what the problem is, and your channel URL, and so I've sent them those things, and that was 42 minutes ago, but they have not got back to me so far. They have also, let me just check my other email, they have also not emailed me, which sad. Never mind. Hopefully they have seen the video and they are, gonna sort it out, but we'll find out. Is it copyright related? No. No, if it were, then it would be a channel problem, not an AdSense problem. It's probably a bot problem. But we shall see. Yes, I'm hoping though, if it's not a YouTube problem and it's an AdSense problem, that so they can actually get me in contact with the someone on the team at AdSense, and then they can fix it. Because hey, um, YouTube is not known for a quick turnaround time on these issues. It's true, but you know, um, well, I appreciate it. We have at least made a little bit of headway in that the Twitter YouTube bot has responded, so I'm cautiously optimistic that somebody might talk to me at some point in the day. It could happen. Um, in the meantime, though, please enjoy my very ad-free videos. You're not going to be bothered by mid-rolls for at least the next couple of hours. So, hey, what can you do? Knowing Google, their bot got confused reading your webpage. Oh, what was the sewing channel? It is. I'm going to spell it for you because it is not an intuitive spelling. Mikera Tours is the sewing channel. She is a tall blonde American lady who is like, one of her sort of amazing skills is her ability to make herself look like all American actresses. Like, she's very good at makeup and contouring, I think. But she did I saw something she did the other day where she, turned herself into Ariana Grande. I went, you do look, normally I don't look at you and think you look loads like Ariana Grande, but you put that on and you did your makeup, and now I'm thinking, my goodness, I never noticed how much you look like Ariana Grande. Anyway, she's also very fun and extremely chaotic. So if you like videos which are extremely chaotic, that's probably, a good one. Should we share the tweet? I don't know if that'll help or not. If you want to, if you want to, you certainly can. You'll still get mid-rolls, but you won't get paid for it. Well, I did ask. A couple of people have said that the channel is still up, but they're not getting any. They're not getting any adverts at all. So, hopefully, at the very least, even if I'm not getting any money, you're not watching any adverts. So, like, there is at least some upside. Where are we? Half past bedtime. Good tech supporting. Thank you for coming. Are YouTube just being horrible? YouTube are rarely just horrible for no reason. And I say this even as someone who is going, I don't understand why you're not letting me, do the thing. Back to work. Goodbye. When your money gets turned on, do you get backdated pay? No, because they will not run ads. That seems to be what's going on. So I'm not earning any money, but on the other hand, you're not having to watch ads. Cutting your hair with nail clippers, yes. YouTube is constantly kind of trying to do a bunch of things, and one of them is maximize audience happiness. And you may not think that from some of the changes that occur from that, but YouTube doesn't care about the individual channel. They do all the sort of they like try and do things for creators sometimes, but the people actually making them money are the people watching the videos, and so people making videos for those people to watch is important, but it's not as important as making sure that the audience is having a good time. And so that means that they are, and also that, all of the people watching are real people. So they're constantly trying to balance the anti-bot things with the audience, happiness thing. They used to do it by views, and popularity of a YouTube video was entirely based on views, but they worked out that, you could clickbait people into starting to watch something, but it wasn't actually about the thing that they thought they were getting. So then they changed it to watch time, and that's when Let's Plays got really popular. But it meant that if you were if you were making really good animation, for example, that was amazing, it would probably be quite short, and so you were that wasn't going too well. And so now they're trying to prioritize viewer satisfaction, which is not just, did you enjoy that video, but do you feel terrible after being on our platform? Which is harder to measure, and so more prone to error. But I feel like it's a better thing in the long run than... I feel like that's a better kind of thing for them to be aiming for. You know, are we making the people who came to the platform happy? You know, are we making their lives better or worse? If worse, tweak. Mash's Patreon link. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Someone's faffing about cause of this problem. Yeah, ads would seem to reduce satisfaction. I mean, ads do reduce satisfaction. On the other hand, there is that balance of, if you don't pay people enough, you know, that if you pay people enough, then they can make more and better things, sort of thing. I wonder if they'll ditch shorts then, because that content always makes my life worse. I'm not sure if you were here when I said it, but if shorts are wrecking your life, turn off your YouTube watch history. Google how to turn off your YouTube watch history, and then it can't show you shorts. It can show you like one short at a time. And then if you try and swipe up, it'll say, I'm sorry, we can't do that because you've turned off your watch history. And so you can't accidentally doom scroll. Very helpful. 10 out of 10 recommend. Of course I feel terrible. That's why I'm still here. Oh, is that why YouTube asked me to randomly to rate videos on a scale of 1 to 5 stars? Yes, that is why. They're trying to make sure that you're having a good time. I'd be a lot more satisfied with the platforms that didn't keep disabling stuff at random. Yeah, same. Engagement is the benchmark, but any metric that is a goal can be gamed to maximize that metric. That is precisely correct, which is, I think, why they're trying to gamify making people happy. Which, you know, because that's harder to do, I guess. The lactose mafia hates your cheese. Yeah. I will not watch an ad or promoted video that's twice as long as the video it interrupted. Yeah, to be fair, like, ads are getting slightly out of hand. And I dislike subscriptions too much to buy a YouTube Premium subscription. Which is ironic, given that I have a Patreon, which is subscription-based. But on the other hand, I'm like, with Patreon, one, you could... there was a thing that I told people to do for a while where you can have a week free. And I said, if you want to read the book, but you don't want to, like... you know, if you want to read, like, the unproofed version of the book, you can just sign up to the free trial and then download the book and then cancel it before they charge you. But Patreon, it is... generally speaking, relatively easy to just cancel a subscription. I had a patron who was having trouble. She was on one tier and she wanted to change to a different tier, and Patreon were like, yeah, that's fine, we can do that, and then they didn't, and so we got her sorted out, because it's very easy to like just stop. It's difficult. It's kind of difficult to go from one thing to another, but you can be like, I'm gonna stop supporting this person, and that's generally very reliable. If you want to change tiers on Patreon, not with me necessarily, just if you're on Patreon, if you want to change tiers, don't do that. Just cancel your subscription and then sign up again to a different tier, because for some reason it's much better at doing that than it is at changing from one thing to another. I don't know why, but here we are. You've managed to trick all of us into answering every poll, but only the cheese option. Absolutely, yeah. I prefer to support people through Patreon than YouTube. That's reasonable. I mean, Patreon gives you much more of the money. So, like, my YouTube tiers are more expensive than my Patreon tiers. And even so, my Patreon tiers still tend to... well, for what you get, as it were, the equivalent tiers on YouTube are more expensive than the ones on Patreon. But I still get about the same amount of money. It is what it is. YouTube takes 30%, you know. Dear YouTube, we'd be happier if you gave Jill her AdSense back. Yeah, like, I also would, 9. Nope, nothing yet. Oh well, I will probably, you know, go and do some, like, of the other things that I was supposed to be doing today, before I... discovered that I was demonetized, but never mind. Hey-ho. Patreon is one thing I constantly forget about. I subbed to a podcast Patreon for a single special episode. 4 months later, I noticed they were still getting my $5. Yeah, no, I understand. 32%. Yeah, they split it 70-30. So ad revenue, I think ad revenue is 70-30. Super chats are 70-30, and channel memberships as well. I get 70%, YouTube gets 30. It used to be worse than that, I think. So I would consider a subscription, but I'm on a bit of an avoid giving publicly traded company any money if I can avoid it kick. I mean, that's entirely fair. Like, it's an interesting economic climate out there right now. I entirely understand. Have you thought about Streamlabs for chats now? I don't know what it... See, I know what StreamYard is, because that's a program that lets you do things, but I'm not sure what Streamlabs is. Is it a website like, like Twitch is or something? I do not know. More money for the creator is always better. I mean, I tend to think so, but then I wouldn't I? Anyone got the rundown? I'm late. I've been demonetized. It's not a channel problem. It's an AdSense problem. Nobody knows what is going on, but I have tweeted and the Twitter bot has responded. So I've sent them the information about what's going on and I'm hoping that they're going to respond. But it's been like 40 minutes and they have not responded again. So we'll find out. We'll find out what the problem is, hopefully, eventually. In the meantime, the channel should be fine, but if not, I'm on Odyssey and I'm on Patreon. So. Who takes a bigger cut, YouTube or book publishers? Depends on the book. Depends on the book publisher. Amazon KDP take a smaller cut. Everybody else requires you. Ingram Spark technically take a smaller cut, but because you have to give discounts to shops, you end up with significantly less money overall. So if you buy one of my books, if you buy a paperback version of my book on Amazon, I get almost $6. Like between $5 and $6, depending on what country you're in. If you buy it from a bookshop, I get about $2 because of the way that works and the discounts that you have to offer to book selling shops in order that they actually stock your book. But yeah, c'est la vie. So they're both they both take a YouTube on it takes a less of a cut in that case, I think. Is Patreon still doing the thing of price and then they add on the VAT at the end of the click price and bill? Probably, because they had to do a whole thing because they have to add it on separately for everyone in every different country, and so it's a different amount for everybody, which is, to be fair, an absolute pain. But it is unfortunate that everybody has different levels of value-added tax, and sometimes you have different levels within states, but I don't know if that applies to Patreon or no. I always got very confused. I went to Florida to Disney World when I was 7, I think, and I got very confused when I went to buy things, because then they would add on the tax at the till, and so I would think I had enough money, and then they would say no, it's more money, and then I wouldn't have had, and then I wouldn't, I'd counted out the amount of money that it said, and then I had to go find some more money, so that it always took longer than I thought it was going to. Aren't ad companies losing out if your videos aren't putting up ads during this problem? If they kicked up with this, you should toe the line. Yes, I do not get enough views that they would care. They are buying advertising on the platform of YouTube. The fact that they're not showing ads on my videos doesn't really bother them, because they have approximately 300 million other accounts on which they could be showing ads, and so for them it's not actually a problem. There are plenty of other fish in the sea, as it were. Skynet is taking over. I tend to use Patreon in a manner of, I've liked this creator, watched all their stuff, they deserve some money. That's, seems reasonable to me. I'm not curious. This is a wider problem. We don't know about it because we're all here. It's now 5:31 in Google land. California's not awake yet. Yeah. How about getting your book in a library? My book is in some libraries. They just have to ask for it, and then they can... It's on the... because it's in Ingram Spark, libraries can buy it. So it is apparently in several libraries, though you are more likely to find the ebook than the paperback. But the paperbacks do exist in some libraries, in some places. Probably in Pennsylvania. I'm quite popular in Pennsylvania. No one's entirely sure why. I think it's because Pennsylvania is full of nerds. But, you know, that's just like a working theory. Right. If you were Mr. Beast, this would have been handled by now. I mean, that is absolutely true, but you know, gotta go have a good time doing whatever it is that you gotta do. Sucks that this happened in December when AdSense is best. Yes, thankfully it only happened like technically yesterday, so hopefully we shouldn't miss out on, you know, too many days. It's in your library. This is good. Amish book clubs. You never know. And we will never know because they're not going to send me an email and tell me about it, are they? If it's Amish book clubs. They're not big emailers, to the best of my information. PI Native can attest we love you and we're also nerds. Fair enough. Mr. Beast could take 10 years off and be fine though. I mean, that's true. SEA also has historical reenactment in Pennsylvania. I suspect that most of you some overlap there. That is probably true. Anyway, born in New York State, parents from Pennsylvania. I'm a huge nerd. It's good to know. You know, there's the demographic for this channel. We seem to have like several overlapping ones, but you are all massive nerds, so you tend to have that in common. I can't possibly imagine why that would be. You know, it doesn't. We have a pretty broad spread of age. Basically, the most common categories go, what is it? I think it's men over 30, women under 30, women over 30, and then men under 30 is the smallest group at like 18%. So it's something like 30 and then almost 30 and then, you know, 25 and then 18. Something like whatever it is that adds up to, you know, 100, or at least nearly 100. I once did a poll and then the poll added up to 101%, which was a bit confusing. I'm gonna be real, but what I mean is there are lots of people here, but you're all nerds. At 57, I'm an outlier. Well, no, it's not that being significantly older than 30 makes you an outlier. It's just that 30 was the sort of dividing line that I chose because my average audience member is somewhere in that is about 28. But that's the median. So I wanted to know, you know, how broadly we were spread. And then I found out that they have lots and lots of advanced analytics in YouTube, which can actually break down various different things, not just like the basic level. So that was good. That was a good day because I do love statistics. Not that it's particularly necessarily useful because at this point I do what I want and then figure out if you like it, and then do more of the things that you and I both like. And that's kind of how we go. But you know, it could be potentially useful. What is your male-female demographic? It depends what you are talking about. So if you're talking about the fantasy heroine videos, that's very female-heavy, relatively speaking. Bear in mind that YouTube is has more... I wouldn't say it's a male-dominated platform, but it definitely skews more male than female. And also, YouTube channels tend to skew quite heavily one way or the other. So, for example, the Makara Jewers channel, I would imagine, I have, you know, I don't know, but I would guess that it's at least 90% female, probably 95. Shad Diversity, I would imagine, also is probably 90% or 95% male. Mine is weird Mine is weird. And, you get other ones like, at Personal Finance Channel, it might be 70-30 or whatever. Mine is often 50-50. But different videos have different things. So armor reviews tend to be like mostly male, like 70-30. Fantasy heroine videos tend to be mostly female, 70-30 the other way. But overall, we tend to split you guys down the middle. Slightly more men than women on average. And I would imagine that the men are watching more minutes because the videos that men prefer to watch tend to be the longer ones, and then I get more women watching the shorts sort of thing. But here we are. Why were you demonetized? We don't know yet, but YouTube is apparently looking into it. Maybe. Possibly. Let's have a... somebody on Twitter said, I wonder if AdSense is who you need to reach out to. Possibly I should do that, so I'm going to do that right now. Right. And oh no. AdSense. There we go. My There we go. Okay, we have unlock more on X. I don't want to unlock more on X. I just wanted to tweet AdSense, and I did. So I don't know if it was one of you who said you should tweet at AdSense, but it was somebody on the Twix, and I have now done so. Anyway. To whom I must reach out, indeed. I mod for Louis Rossman. His male-female is 96% male. Unless he posts a cat video, then it's 80% female. Yeah. Indeed so. So your fans are mostly people. It's true. It's true. YouTube skews male by a ton. It's true. Like I feel like the creator base skews more male than the user base, but both of them skew male. Not as much as like Reddit, I don't think. But it's still YouTube is probably, I think, the closest to having parity. Interestingly, my TikTok stats are very different, and my TikTok is like 80% female across the board. Where's this guy? Anyway, what do we do? So yes, I have now tweeted the other people. We'll see if that helps. Off to the school run. Hope all goes well. Yes, I should go and have my lunch because thereafter I also need to go to the school run. It might be a different school run to Sarah, but you know, I've been gone for more than an hour. See, this is still going on. I just like, chatting, apparently. Go have lunch. Yeah. Well, I said that if they hadn't responded by past, then I would just, go have my lunch. And they have not, in fact, done so. So we will close that down for later. Actually, we should probably keep it open for later, right? Whoops. I closed the one that has my channel ID on it, and I bet I'm going to need that later. It's okay, I got it back. Nobody panic. I sometimes wonder if watching me do tech-related stuff on stream is a bit like me when I watch my mum try to work, like, the Skybox or her phone or whatever. Like, it's not that you can't do it. It's just that, it's perhaps trickier than you anticipated, or you have to think about it a little harder than you otherwise would. Anyway, thank you for coming and listening to me ramble for an extremely long time about absolutely nothing. I have now tweeted at YouTube and they have responded, but they haven't responded with anything useful yet. I've also tweeted at AdSense. They haven't responded yet, but hopefully something will happen there. And yeah, I hope that you all have a wonderful day, or that you all have a good sleep if you should be going to sleep right now. I'm just saying, that might be a thing that you might want to do. Anyway, yes, I will keep you updated in the community tab. If we do get remonetized, I might do a stream again. Yeah, I will, talk to you soon. Hopefully with good news. Hopefully it'll be like, look, it's a stream and you can do things. And every so often it'll randomly interrupt you with an ad, which will probably be annoying, to be fair. But here we go. Have a lovely day. Enjoy your food, whatever mealtime is nearest for you. See you soon.